gmail.com. Please let us know where you're listening from. We love to get your questions and your comments. Keep them coming. Oh, also, it's very important that you write in today, folks, because as promised, we are having a draw.
The cake.
The cake. The cake has resurrected. The cake has come up like the sun. It's up somewhere. Where is it?
Yeah, the
Where's
Jamaican Christmas cake.
Where's the cake?
I know where it is.
Okay, anyway, we're going to be having this draw, and there's going to be a lucky window.
Is a cake. Okay?
There is a cake.
There is a cake.
Okay, there is a cake.
It's a great taste.
It's not a phantom cake. It's not a make-believe cake. There is a cake. So just before the show ends, this cake will appear. We will do a draw, and a lucky winner will get it. Okay, so
can I show? We have a hat full.
We have.
These
are all. These are all the emails for the month of February. Okay.
And today we'll also add all the names that come in.
Okay.
Right. So.
And then we'll have a draw. So every Sunday, like today, we have a lot of fun in there, right? Because we're offering tips, and we do that in the edutainment format. And it's designed, ladies and gentlemen, to stimulate your mind, my mind, everybody's mind, and to help us to grow one step closer to living a healthier lifestyle. All right? Anything you want to add?
Well, I'm looking forward to today's show because we have a really exciting guest who sounds as if he may be on, I don't know what, but
who you talk about?
But I'm looking forward to talk with our guest today.
Are you going to have a conversation with a guest?
Yeah.
Okay. Yesterday we had fun. Yesterday was a wonderful day.
Yesterday was a perfect
day, beautiful day. As you know, folks, it's Black History Month, and
there were 3 events, and we had to choose.
We had to choose one, and I think we chose the best one.
Well, we didn't go to the other 2.
That's why it's the best. That's why it's the best. We went to the best.
But
you always go to the best, regardless. But it was wonderful. It was a symposium, Black Health Symposium. Yeah. It was sponsored by Korea. Is it Community Health, right? They are Community Health Service.
Yeah.
And it was wonderfully done, well organized.
That's because you got free food.
Oh, yeah. The food was good.
I had 2 bowls of that pumpkin and ginger soup. Oh, it was delicious at the Ajax Convention Center.
Yeah, it was very well done. Very good speakers. The guest speaker was Michael Pinball Clemens, wonderful speaker, funny at times. And of course, the information was, well put together, very, very impactful information. And so as promised at that symposium, it was the beginning. Now moving forward, we're looking for great things to be happening in regards to health and the Black community, because as you know, there are challenges. It's nothing new, but it's time that we face those challenges and deal with it head on. Right.
And a gentleman at our table, he actually went up to the mic and he asked a question. And his question was, here we are at this beautiful symposium, and we're preaching to the converted, because the folks who attend these sessions usually are the people that really don't need the education, because they're already aware.
Yeah.
And his question was, where do we go from here? What happens next? So I actually went up to, I think it's Mr. Francis, who is the CEO or the president of Korea.
Yeah.
And I told him that I would like to work, Liquid Green would like to work with the organization, and he was very welcoming. So during next week, we're definitely going to make some connections, because it's the community. And this is for all people. It's not just, it's Black History Month. We're talking Black health as usual for the month, but it's for everyone. Our show happens to be very diverse, right? Yeah. So what we say anyway appeals to, it's for everyone.
It's for everyone. Right? The health information is for everyone. As long as you are an entity that is in the body.
Or identifies as human.
Yeah, as long as you identify as human, not AI. We're not talking to AI people, right?
Yeah.
You got to be human. All right. The information that we give out is.
But guess what? AI is now becoming, I don't know, smarter.
I heard, yeah, they were talking about the question. Not that, but they were really talking about, is it possible that AI has or can have a consciousness? And that's a very.
You and I debate this all the time because you say no, because man programs it, then it can't.
Right. As far as I'm concerned, there's none such thing as AI, artificial intelligence. It's human intelligence transferred into something else. So
but
it can be artificial.
Technology is changing. And we have had this before. Let me speak. The technology is changing and AI can now, they have the capability to start programming themselves. So
it's an extension of human thoughts, of human.
They're taking, but anyway, that's not the gist of the show. That's going to be for another show.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to have a young lady talk about brain trauma, right? And who knows, probably in the future, AI can be linked with people who suffer. Who knows? The sky's the limit when it comes
I don't doubt that, but I'm still saying it's an extension of human intelligence that's being transposed into something else. So it's not human. It's not AI.
Which eventually can make itself.
Anyway, folks, today's topic has to do with your health and how it is being impacted by environmental chemicals. That is the conversation we're going to be having today.
And our very special guest is none other than
moi.
Fred Cox.
Yeah. And so here I am.
As a matter of fact, I do give you credit because over the years since we started Liquid Green, we've really dealt heavily into researching, investigating about the chemicals.
Yeah.
You always say it's not just chemicals because water is a chemical.
Everything is a chemical.
Right?
Everything is a chemical.
The fact that there are toxic chemicals.
Yeah. Like I said.
We live with them and we're going to discuss today.
Yeah.
We live with them. How do they impact our lives and what can we do to make things better, to avoid and prevent? Correct?
Okay. Correct. Like I said, everything is a chemical. Everything can be a poison. It just depends on how much you choose to deal with, right?
But sometimes
the dosage. It all depends on the dosage.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the very first question I want to throw out to our audience is, what are toxic chemicals?
That's a question I'd like to ask you, so you can.
Okay, go ahead. Ask me.
So,
go ahead.
So Frederick.
Yeah.
What do we consider toxic chemicals?
Okay, you want the dictionary answer, or you want the common sense answer?
Both.
Common sense answer is, anything that will poison you, right? Is considered a toxic chemical. But really and truly, toxic chemical is anything that contains or is being a poisonous material, especially when it's capable of causing death or some serious harm, or it's exhibiting symptoms of an infection, right?
Okay.
Or it's extremely harsh and it has a malicious nature, right? And it is harmful. So that, in a nutshell,
sounds like some people.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Okay. Speak for yourself, right? So that in itself is, considered toxic chemicals, right? And there are lots of them. Research has shown that, and these are modest estimates. There are over 700,000 different toxic chemicals that we are exposed to every day. And just let that number register in your mind, folks. 700,000 different toxic chemicals daily. And this doesn't include the crazy poisons that GMO companies are pumping into the food supply. That doesn't include that, right? And this is according to Global Healing Center, right? And they're also saying that it isn't abnormal to be exposed to 2.1 million toxins every day.
Wow.
Right? 2.1 million toxins. And it's coming from everywhere.
Yeah. Not the chemicals that are natural that we'll find in the environment, as well as the man-made stuff.
As well as the man. But just think of it this way. Let's take, for example,
on your face.
You go into the supermarkets. Yeah. Right? Today you walk into any supermarket and you walk down the cleaning aisle, there's a fragrance there. Right. So many different fragrances are exuding from, and these are all kept containers. Right. That's true. Right? Kept containers. And you walking down that aisle and you are inhaling it. Right. Okay. That's a small sample of what we were exposed to. You go into your car, you buy a new car.
The supermarkets, as a matter of fact, sometimes they in supermarkets, they have to be careful where they place certain goods.
Precisely.
Because if they place
cross-contamination, yes,
close to the cleaners,
yes,
doesn't really happen. But sometimes you can actually have the transference.
Yes, certain types of foods, for example, like sugar or flour, like that batch of sugar that I bought the other day. Up to now, I don't use it because it smells and tastes like curry.
But why are you buying sugar anyway? But
that's a different question.
That's another conversation.
You have to have sugar. No. You got to use sugar every once in a while. You want to make your sweet tooth things. Okay, so that's the exposure.
Yeah, you were going to talk about the car.
Yeah, you buy a new car. You have lots of fumes that are emitting from that, and we like it. It smells good, and you buy it. But you sit in there, you drive with the windows open. You're inhaling toxic fumes.
You pick up your clothes from the cleaners, you buy the new shoes.
Oh, okay, everything. It's there. Yeah. The question is, what are the potential health benefits? Sorry, not benefits, effects, right? And there's a lot. It could happen for anything from an accident, incorrect use of household chemicals. Yeah. They can cause, immediate health effects, like a burn. A little kid handles certain. You remember there was an incident in Montreal.
Yes, I remember.
With cleaning products. This was last year.
No. It was
last year.
No. Well, I don't know if there's another one last year, but the one I recall was several years ago, where they actually used the undiluted cleaner. Yeah. On the toilet seats.
It was last year.
No, it was.
Recent.
Said I don't.
Recent.
This was at least 6-7 years.
No, it wasn't that long.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, that's the incident that I'm talking about.
Yes.
They use the undiluted cleaning product to wipe off the toilet seat. Yeah. And children sat in it and they got burned. Yeah. Really right. So that's a perfect example of incorrect use. Yeah. Where an accident can occur. It can, affect the skin or eye irritation, burns, or even poisoning.
But before we go into the impact on the health, do you want to talk a little bit more about some of the chemicals? What are some of the chemicals we're talking about?
Yeah.
And it is such a huge topic that we really have to condense it. And I think we decided we're going to just talk about the chemicals mostly in our cleaning products.
There's
right.
Look, you know what? I don't want to go into it simply because I cannot pronounce some of the names. Right. Right. The names are technical, they're scientific, and I don't want to bend up and bite my tongue to do it. But I can tell you something.
You mean you can't read?
No, I can't read them, so I'm not going to do it.
No, you mean you can't read? Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, is this show?
Go ahead.
What's the show about? Anyway, there's a term called forever chemicals.
Right.
Right. And I just discovered this new term. Forever what are forever chemicals?
I think as the name suggests, that might give folks a clue.
Yeah.
Right.
Forever chemicals are chemicals like PFOA and PFOS. And they have been voluntarily phased out by the US, and I would suspect in Canada as well, manufacturers. But they are still in limited use, and they remain in the environment because they do not degrade over time.
Yes.
So those are forever chemicals. Okay. The compounds are part of a larger cluster of, again, the forever chemical. And they have been used in consumer products and industry since back in the 40s. Right. And, they're more like grandfathered into these are products, these are chemicals that do not degrade, and they could be found as water repellent sports gear, stain resistant rugs, cosmetics, Even in the frying pans, you know, those what you call it, those
non-stick,
the non-stick frying pans, they're in there.
So this is one of the interesting things I find. Here we are, we like our grandparents way back in a couple generations back anyway, great and great grandparents way back. They used to fry an egg.
Yeah.
In
an iron pot.
And if it's stuck, you put oil, and if it sticks, you just unstick it, or you make scrambled eggs or whatever. So for convenience, we have come up with all these new technology.
Non-stick.
Do you know where it started? It started with a space program.
Yes.
Right?
Because a lot of those things
for material that can, take us to outer space or to the moon.
Yeah.
And every time it's the military, so much good things have come, but also so much horrible things.
Yeah.
And every day, every year, there's a continuous lineup of new chemicals that are coming on board.
Well,
right?
they're not really new chemicals.
They're
new names.
Being designed. No, a lot of things are being designed. Just like every other industry, the chemical industry is coming up with new things that our bodies have never been exposed to before, and that we've never heard of before.
Remember, there are over 80,000 chemicals out there, and just a few have been tested by the government. And they're all being used in different forms. What some manufacturers are doing, when these chemicals have been discovered as harmful or dangerous or carcinogenic, they would take those chemicals and blend them with less toxic chemicals. And so they phase it in to the product. And now there's no classification for that. So now it's considered as being safe. Right.
And of course, they're on labels.
Yeah.
Right? What is the problem with the labels?
You can't read some of the labels because they're on the labeling, their manufacturer will not put a lot of things because it is considered trade secret.
Exactly.
So it's not there. Right. So we as the consumer, we are left at the mercy of these manufacturers and what they're putting on.
To throw out a question to our listening audience, and whether you're listening on Reality Radio 101 or YouTube at Liquid Green Health Show or Facebook or wherever you're listening from, I wanted to ask, yesterday we talked about that event we went to, and I actually was a brave soul who got up and asked the first question. And at the end of it, because we were talking about health, and they were saying we have to work together, the community have to work together, etc. There was a bunch of politicians in the room, and I addressed them specifically, and I said, governments have to bear some responsibility towards the legislation when it comes to food. I would like to throw that out to our audience. And the question I would like to ask is, do you think that government should play they do play a role, but should they be more active when it comes to toxic chemicals? That's the toxic chemical crisis. And if you think they should, what? So I'm throwing that out as a question. And if you would like to email us, remember,
it's Liquid Green Health Show.
The Liquid Green Health Show at gmail.com. And remember, all your emails today are going
into that box for the draw. Right? But let me pick up on that question. Some people may say to that question, the answer might be, well, there isn't much we can do. They may also say, well, the politicians can't do much because they are, number one, outfinanced and outnumbered by the lobbyists, right? And there's a lot of truth to that. So unless the politician has...
But they're voted in for change to make legislation, and that's what politicians do.
Yeah, but
that's how the changes can come.
No, the balls of a politician gets smaller when they become politicians. Of the individual gets smaller when they become politicians. Because the balls are being squeezed. Their balls are being squeezed by lobbyists. Okay. And the harder the lobbyists squeeze those balls, is the more pain they will feel. And nobody likes to feel pain. So what do? They give up. They give in. right? I mean, that's a crude analogy, but
isn't it the voters, aren't voters more influential?
You don't get what you vote for.
Aren't voters, should voters not be more influential than the lobbyists? I mean, yes, they have the money, but no matter what a lobbyist brings to the table, it's the people who vote gives them the chance to actually get there to make the legislation.
Yeah, we vote to put them in with the hope and the thinking that they will stand up for you. But again, it comes down to the lobbyists squeezing the balls, and you know.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that analogy, because if you ever had your balls squeezed, you know.
Since I don't own any.
Ouch!
But you know, let's. There was an article that I think it was on CTV.
The one with the
with the toxic chemicals that were found, hazards that you didn't know exist in your home. I think that's
it's the dollar store.
Yeah, that's the one with the dollar store.
Yeah.
When they talked about the toxic chemicals that are in that they
so
found
many of the products.
So many products.
1 in 4, I believe. You said
something like that.
I think it was 1 in 4 products that were tested.
Yes.
And they were found to have either the containers, right?
Right. The article is toxic chemicals commonly found in dollar store items. And the testing shows that there's a lack of regulations for internal lead in products.
Lead has been around for so long. It's still a problem.
It's still a problem. And I always said, listen, I'm going to say it publicly. I always say there's certain things you should not buy from the dollar store, because I am always of the belief that the manufacturer that is putting stuff in a high-end store will never put the same quality in a dollar store, because you're dealing with different demographics, you're dealing with a different economic situation.
But what I thought was that they won't put the same quality, but they might diminish the efficacy of the product. Right? So let's say we were going to put liquid green in the dollar store.
Yeah.
Instead of putting that much in terms of we
would have to reduce.
You'll have to reduce.
Yes, that is a fact.
So that's what I thought they were doing. Not that they were making an inferior product.
No.
But now this has changed, definitely educated me as to what it is that they're doing. That
I wasn't,
different.
Honestly, I was not surprised. I was not surprised when I read this article, right? And it goes on to say that a lot of the toys that are in some of these dollar stores have hazard chemicals in them, even in small amounts, right? These chemicals are linked to reproductive, behavioral, metabolic impacts, and chronic disease such as cancer, asthma, diabetes. Children are particularly susceptible to the effects of harmful chemicals due to their rapidly growing bodies and hand-to-mouth behavior.
From the womb, can you believe it? From the womb, from inside. Like, think of it, Frederick. Back in the day when parents in the 50s, 40s, 50s had children, what did they do? They checked, do the kids have, 10 fingers, 10 toes? That was the biggest concern. Did they cry when they come out? And, now parents are worried. Children are born with
cancer,
diabetes. I can't believe it. Children are born with diabetes. They're born with cancer. They're born drunk or with alcohol and drug inside the body, because from the time they found out that embryonic sac could be, it could be pierced, like there could be a transferal from into that sac, and which can affect the child. And that is, the first study was done with alcohol, right? But now they're finding out that all of these chemicals, children can be born with brain disease,
and
deformities, because of something as
the exposure that the parents, and a lot of parents go to the dollar stores to buy stuff for the little ones
because it's cheap,
it's inexpensive,
right?
It looks good, but it's and the names of the dollar stores have been published, right? But I would put all of them in the same category, because the products, what you find in $1 store, you can find in everyone. Such things that, and the study even showed that all of the cash register receipts tested. This is cash register receipts from the dollar stores contain bisphenol S, BPS. All of the food cans tested contain toxic chemicals, 60% with BPA, 40% with PVC and polyester resin. All of the microwave popcorn packaging tested contain PFAS, right? So, I mean,
but you know, the study came out about the dollar store, but I'm sure it's not just the dollar store.
It's not just them.
I'm sure if you went to the supermarket, so many of the brands are going to have the same problems.
Yeah.
Because it's a systemic problem. It's a problem that's affecting not just the food industry, it's affecting the cleaning industry.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think it's worse because there's more precaution with food than with
the cleaning products. And I'm going to come to that. I'm going to come to that as well. Household cleaners.
So what should we be looking for really when we're talking about the cleaners? Because we said we're going to try and be specific.
Yeah, it's, you know, you have to read the labels.
Okay.
And even when manufacturers use things like fragrance, right? They might say fragrance added, but they won't tell you what type of fragrance. They won't tell you, you know, what's the source of the fragrance. That is a trade secret.
Yes.
Right? And consumers have been trained to believe that if something has a nice fragrance, like a cleaning product, for example, if it smells good, it's clean. Right? Or if the place is clean, it must smell good. And that is why we use all these sprayers and these plugins and all kinds of stuff in order to freshen up the place. That is one of the things that I must say that I pride ourselves for, Liquid Green Products, for not having these kind of stuff in their product, in our products. Right?
Okay. So
if you went to our website, liquidgreenproducts.com.
And we're going to ask folks, really, you need to check us out, right? You need to take a look. I don't know, most of our listeners, the majority of our listeners are not on YouTube, on Facebook. The majority of our listeners are really on radio. Reality Radio 101. I always like to say that. But we're asking that you go and check out the website because it does explain everything about the products.
Yes.
Right. But today, Frederick, we have a whole slew of emails. Before
okay, so let me go into that.
About Liquid Green.
Okay.
Just tell folks what they should be looking for when buying cleaning products.
That's a tough question. What you should be looking for are things that, first of all, you look for natural stuff, right? Always read the labels. Always read the labels, and you search for hidden meanings. Words like danger, poison, or warning. Those are easy to spot. Those are the easy ones. But you look for phrases like avoid skin contact. Right? If they're telling you avoid skin contact, that should be a red flag, not a yellow flag, a red flag.
You know what's another big one?
Flammable.
That's one. And then if you were to ingest this product,
seek medical attention right away. Right? Those are warning signs, folks.
Yeah.
The minute you see that, seek medical attention. If you were to ingest this, stay away from that product.
Or
right?
Burns.
You got to look for burns. Right. If words like corrosive, right, may cause burns. If it's going to burn the skin, could you imagine if a child accidentally swallows it? Right? So those are the things that you have to be looking at. Then if a cleaner is advertised as biodegradable, but nowhere is mentioned in what period this happens, those are something you need. Everything.
What about Liquid Green? We're biodegradable.
No, we're not just biodegradable. We are readily biodegradable, which means that within a certain period of time,
28 days, I think.
Everything goes back to Mother Nature. And that is why we are saying that you need, if you're going to buy any cleaning product, you need to go to liquidgreenproducts.com and choose one of our products that has no added fragrance, no toxins, no carcinogens, meaning it has no cancer-causing ingredients. It has no fragrance added. Okay, so it
has no
phosphates, right? No solvents in it, no petroleum-based ingredients, and and it's plant-based.
And we don't only say it's eco-friendly. What's our slogan?
We say it's eco-superior.
Eco-superior.
Eco-superior, right? So
Okay.
And so with that said, let me go to
check some emails. Oh my goodness. I think people really want to win this cake.
Yeah.
Or is it because you're doing a great job?
I'm doing a good job, man. I'm the best guest you've ever had.
Don, you're gonna have several opportunities to win this cake because you always write to us, and we are so appreciative of that. And you said, always my favorite radio day with Liquid Green. We thank you for that. And from Chris, hello, looking forward. Oh, that was before. Looking forward to the show today. And Beth says, hello, Coxes. Always a pleasure to hear Fred's monologue. Hi to Janet. We're listening to you from Ottawa, our capital in Canada.
Oh,
Canada. Great.
Here's one from Evan. Evan says, loving your show. It is a blessing for us to listen to you every Sunday afternoon. We have learned so much from you and your guests. Thank you for the free advice. Thank you very much for that, Evan.
And Bob said, hello, Coxes. You're giving away a cake.
Yeah.
Love you too. Okay, Bob, I am really hoping you're going to win this cake. Right? And what did Gail? Oh, are you reading from Gail?
Gail says, Fred is so right about sugar.
I know. Fred.
Here's my daily dose. Big mountain of sugar. She says, I'm bouncing off the walls.
Yes. But we know Gail is joking, right?
Yeah, she's joking.
But we know that Frederick, what about the cookies?
No.
Honestly,
no, they don't need, today's not about,
It's not about you, it's not about the cookies. He has switched. It's now chips. The chips.
Yeah, what's wrong with chips?
A whole big bag.
Yeah, but last night, you want me to tell you what you did last night? Last night, we stopped to buy gas, and you shouted out, get me.
Stop. Oh, Henry Barr.
Yeah.
This is a health show. You cannot.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Anyway, we were going to talk about
about the chemicals we were talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me just finish off. I think I mentioned no solvents, no phosphates, no petroleum-based ingredients. That's our product, folks.
Right.
Our product, Liquid Green products, are designed to cut through grease and dirt and clean your home without leaving a toxic footprint. You can use this without glove or mask. If there were to spill in your food, you won't have to worry because it was made by fruits and other extracts from things like coconut, sugarcane, geranium.
Some of the ingredients.
Yeah.
That's the fruit and vegetable.
Yeah, this is our for those of you that are watching us on YouTube. This is what it looks like, and the ingredients is this. Can I read? Where are the ingredients?
Not French.
Does it have ingredients in it? No.
Did you list the ingredients?
Yeah, I listed. The ingredients were listed.
Do you need my glasses?
If you got to look so hard for it, then that's no good, right? Okay, it says spray liberally and blah 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 blah, and the ingredients is coconut, sugarcane, geranium, chrysanthemum, kind of stuff, right? All edible stuff that you can use, and that was designed to remove wax and pesticides and stuff that are sprayed on the fruits and vegetables before you use
it. The pesticides and herbicides, like the glyphosates and the chlorovirus, right?
And that was a shameless plug for our products, folks.
Well, that's why, I think we have, I think we're entitled. I think it's not a shameless plug. I think we have a duty.
Yes.
Somebody told me this when we first started. I don't remember her name, but she said, your products are fantastic, and you have a duty to share this with others.
Yes,
because there are not a lot of absolutely green products that actually work.
Precisely.
Right.
And that's the beauty about it. Like I deliberately bought one. I'm not going to call the name. I bought it and I brought it home.
When you buy this, because
but you need to know what your competition is doing. So I bought it. And I brought it home and said, okay, let me try it.
And it's folks, green and it's like expensive.
It's under the moniker of green. I paid a good buck for it. I brought it home. Honestly, I couldn't stand the fragrance of it. And it does not work.
Yeah, it doesn't work as good as Liquid Green.
And listen, our bathtub, when we bathe in it, sometimes there's a lot of soap muck that's left. And so you need a good cleaner.
After you and Kofi with his black clothes, right?
Yeah. So I'm telling you, like not every bathtub is clean. So
well, no bathtub is clean after the bath, right?
So you need something that's gonna cut that oily stain that's left, the muck that's left there, and the soap residue that's left on the walls, especially if you have, grout and stuff that needs to be cleaned. So you need a product that is not just green, but the efficacy is of such a high standard that you don't have to use a lot of elbow grease to get it out. And that's the beauty with Liquid Green products, our multi-purpose cleaner. Again, go to our website at liquidgreenproducts.com and get more. So continue the show. So folks, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, or you did so late, you are listening to the Coxes on Reality Radio 101. And today's topic, this is the Liquid Green Health Show. And today we're talking about harmful toxic chemicals and how they impact your health.
This is totally an aside to everything. You just said the Coxes. And I remember when I was teaching, and when we had just got married, and I used to be Miss Bennett. And then when I went back to school with a new name, I kept my name, Bennett Cox. And the kids roared and they lay on the floor and they cracked up because I taught a class, they were behaviorally challenged, right? And they said, "You're Cox, Miss Bennett is a Cox." Oh my goodness. And now you said that just came back to mind. It was really so funny. Anyway, I hope I haven't destroyed your trend of thought.
Where are we?
Okay.
We talk about
the impact now of we talked about the chemicals, what some of them are, and we're going to talk about the health impact. What exactly do they do to the human body? We did talk about the babies in the womb, but what about diabetes and some of the other things that we have no idea?
A lot of these chemicals are endocrine disruptors.
Yes.
They can affect fertility. They do cause cancer. There's no question about it. They can bring on diabetes. They can cause, heart conditions to get worse. They can bring on asthma, right? So there's a lot of side effects with these chemicals.
And that's because the endocrine system, before we started doing the show, before I became more into looking into the research, I used to think the endocrine system was just about the thyroid,
Yeah, okay.
But what I realized, and they're adding more, even the fat in the body, they're saying that is a part of the endocrine system. All right. So and
that's where these chemicals go and lodge themselves.
It's the entire hormonal system in the body.
Yes.
And that's why it affects so many organs.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the people that are at greater risks are children, seniors, pregnant women, and indigenous peoples. And the reason for indigenous peoples, and it's not just indigenous people, I would change that category to people in low income bracket, right? But I guess the reason why they're saying indigenous people is because of the conditions in which they live in and what they're and what they're exposed to. But anyone in a low income bracket would be susceptible to these chemicals because why? They don't have the money to buy a better quality product.
It's like eating organic.
Yeah.
Like most people want to eat organic, but they just can't afford it.
It's too expensive.
You can't have a family of four going out to buy organic on a budget.
Right. But also the advertising that are being done with these products to promote them into certain areas.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Where do they open the dollar store? They don't see the dollar stores in the more affluent areas, right?
Right. So, those people, they look at television and they see these advertisements, and then they go out and they purchase the product because they're told that it works. And mind you, it works, but you're going to pay a price. You either pay now or you pay it later. There is a cost to be paid, and your health is the area that's gonna feel it more than anything else. So those are some of the impactful results when you use these products that emit volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Whether it's in your home, right? Whether it's in your home or in your car, in your office, in the vehicles that you travel, it's there. We are exposed to it.
And they cause the respiratory problems because they're airborne, right? The VOCs. And it's so much easier because it's airborne. That's why aerosols are not that good for us. And burning the scented candles. A
lot of people believe, hey, they're going to burn the scented candles. That's a highly carcinogenic product that you're burning in your home. The incense that you're burning in your home. I'm not saying sometimes you want to, if you're doing for spiritual work, it might be a little different because you're not going to do it every day. But over a period of time, you inhaling those, toxic fumes into your body, it will hurt. It's gonna hurt.
And this is like benzene. Benzene is one of the most harmful. And I think they're trying to get rid of benzene. But as you mentioned earlier, what they do is they change the name.
They change the name.
Bring it in as another form.
Yeah.
Right? Formaldehyde, that's another one of the bad offenders.
Even
listed as a VOC.
Yeah, even asbestos. It's making a comeback. They're in some they found asbestos in mattress.
Still?
Yeah.
That is like criminal.
It's sneaking in, and it depends on which country it's coming from. So it's sneaking into, you have fire retardant materials that, have a lot of toxic chemicals in them. Okay. Right. So these things, when you use them, has an effect on your health. And then, you get into a certain age and all of a sudden you're being diagnosed with a, cancer or kidney problems, and you want to know, well, how did I get it? But you have been exposed. Yeah. That is why, and I think somebody brought it up in the symposium yesterday, you need to be your own doctor. You need to recognize the symptoms. You need to listen to the body, and anything that is unusual, out of whack, see a doctor immediately, get diagnosed. Yeah. And then you figure out how you're going to treat it.
And so the bottom line then is all about knowledge.
Information.
Like we have to learn about these things, because the average person, unless you're really going out to find out what is in my cleaning product, right?
They don't pay attention. The bottom line is money.
But you have to know, you have to have a desire to know. Because once you start to seek the knowledge, you will get the answers.
But okay, remember when we first started, our business first started, we used to go to a lot of trade shows.
Yes.
We would meet a lot of people, and he says, okay, what are you using to clean your home?
Bleach.
That's the answer you will get.
And even now today,
right?
You still
Up
find
to now, you ask some people. And I remember one customer said to me, well, I love my bleach.
And she was a nurse.
Yeah. Yes. I love my bleach.
She loves that bleach smell.
They love the smell.
Yeah.
and I'm saying, in the profession that you're in, how could you love this? Don't you know that this thing is going to kill you? So that is the kind of ignorance that you're faced with. And again, it comes down to economics, right? Take, for example, there's some cleaning products in the supermarkets and in the dollar store, fancy names. I'm not going to call names. They smell good, right? And people use them to clean their floors, to clean their toilet. I've gone into restaurants where you don't want to buy the food because the smell that you're getting.
Clean the establishment is so strong.
It's so strong.
Do you think we have become more sensitive because we are scent-free?
I think so, yes. I think that like any fragrance that I'm around now, I don't even use cologne anymore.
Or perfume. Remember when we were really into that? I actually love the body smell.
Yeah.
More than the fragrant, the perfume smell, the man smell.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't use information it. Probably, but
the thing is, and you don't have to smell raw. I mean, if you wash yourself properly, you're not going to have that problem, right?
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
It's funny. My mom, I think I said this before, my mom never used deodorant. And she never needed it.
No,
She
that's
never
so
had
true.
that
She never had that perspiration
right?
problem.
I don't know how that's possible,
Yeah.
why, you know, but I guess this from the foods
Yeah.
you eat. Somebody also said your flatulence should not stink.
Mhm.
And I guess that goes back to, again,
It
the
goes
food
back to
you
how you
eat,
eat, yeah.
right?
It goes back to what you eat.
Here's a email from one of our frequent. She has sent in quite a few as well. Hi, Jane. And Jane said, hello, Liquid Green. Unfortunately, chemicals are all around us, and a lot of them are carcinogens. It is a shame. Thank you very much for the information. And it is a shame, and nobody has responded as to what they think. Can governments really actually do anything about it?
Let's read what Janice said.
Oh, as soon as I said that, here it is. Hi to the Coxes. This is a very good topic today. Anytime the government gets involved with our lives, they beep it up. Beep it up. Okay, I hear what you're saying, Janice, but how are we going to get things changed? I think there's also when we talk about government interference, right? Then yes, like them trying to bring in ID and so much of the stuff where they're draconian and Big Brother is watching us, they want to control our lives. Yeah. But how are we going to get the chemical company to change what they're doing unless it's through legislation? Well, one of the things that people, that's what I mean. That's what I was hoping. But one of the things I think the only way you could force them to do it, you have to do it with your dollar. You need to stop buying their products. If you stop buying their products, they will smarten up, right? You can't just talk about it. When you go into the store and you see this product and it has certain words on the label, and as far as you're concerned, this is not healthy for you, you stop buying it. And if you stop buying it, the supermarkets will stop stocking it. And if supermarkets stop stocking it, they're going to start feeling it that's the most effective way. But in the interest of time, we have to remember that we got to do a draw. Yes, I'm going to add the other names. So you have to hurry up and go for this cake. And where did you hide the cake? It's I'll get it. And Glenn says, hi, Fred. Ooh, you scared me. That has to hurt. I think he was talking about when you were squeezing the balls. And Wall says, hello to you too. Hello, Fred. Oh, my goodness. I'm Janet Bennett. Excellent show today. The good news is that toxic chemicals are much less today than they were in the 1950s and 60s. We need to keep working on that. That's for the heads up. You know what? That's him winning the cake. Yeah, but you know what? That I don't know if they're less. They might be reduced in the content. But you mean in the harshness of the chemical? Yeah, is that what you mean? Yeah, the harshness may not be as much, but it's still there. It's just, I mean, how much more of it do you have to take before the harm, is noticeable? But those same chemicals are being used today. Unless look, I think what he means is okay. He says they're much less today than they were in the 50s and 60s. I probably agree with you that that's not accurate, because there's a plethora of new chemicals. And they're coming. There's still more. Yeah. How many thousands every year there's new ones. Governments can't even keep up. Yeah. They're less of the ones that we know of. Yeah. For example, like PERC and triclosan. And some of the phosphates, like that has been banned. Some of the really horrible things, like some of the pesticides that have been banned, were really, really, really bad. But it doesn't, not because they're still horrible. But I think what Walt is saying is that the terrible ones have been taken off the market, right? And that's only because you have environmental groups like EWG and other groups that are monitoring these companies. You know what? I don't think you'll have time to go down and bring up the cake. We need to do the draw, and then they know it's a cake. So folks, I'm going to add the new names while you take the hat and put that in. I'm going to take this hat for those of you that, and trust me, this hat looks small, but there are a lot of emails in here. Oh, and I'm going to throw it out so that you can see. So what's already in? Oh yeah, this. Oh, I didn't do that. This is already in. So this has been from January. And the previous two winners, they're not in here. Okay. They're not in here, folks.
So.
Excuse me, I'm gonna get the cake.
Okay. Hurry up and get this cake. Get this cake. Get the cake. You can hear me shaking it up here, folks. Okay, I'm just going to rest it there until she returns. So, while we're waiting for Janet to come back, are you back already? That was fast. Yeah, as we were saying, the chemicals, the toxic chemicals that are in the cleaning products, or they're being sprayed on fruits and vegetables, and in open air crop, they are extremely toxic. When it comes to pesticides that are being sprayed on crop, if it's being sprayed and you are downwind, you're getting the brunt of it, right? I know of farmers, when they're spraying, they will go around and tell the neighbors, like, we're going to be spraying next week, or we're going to be spraying tomorrow. So they have to leave their home, lock up and leave their home. So you got the cake?
I do.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time left. All right, folks, the cake is in this container, right? I can open it and show you. It smells good.
It's the Jamaican rum cake.
And it's all wrapped up in nice plastic.
They can't see it.
Oh my gosh, it smells. For those of you that are watching us, viewing us on WhatsApp and Facebook, not WhatsApp, YouTube and Facebook, this is what it looks like.
I'd like to thank Fred and Janet for winning the cake. I really appreciate it. It looks delicious. Oh,
I'm telling you, man, if I knew where this cake was, it would have been done.
Yeah, but the man made the cake, and he's really terrific.
We got 6 minutes.
It really does taste good.
Yep. This honestly is good. It's very, very good.
Okay.
Okay.
So
you ready to go?
Let's add in just a minute.
I'm showing you, folks.
Keep going. Here's Glenn.
Anita.
Janet.
You can hear the sound. You can hear the sound. This is the drum roll that we're getting here. Keep it coming. You have more?
Yeah.
How many more? We run out of time.
No, it's good. Okay, and two more. Okay, I think we are good.
Done.
Oops, one more.
Okay, we got a lot of dead air on the radio, and that's not good. You're not supposed to have dead air on the radio. Okay, this is the best we can do, folks.
Okay.
All right, so
I'm
you gotta close your eyes.
I did.
You gotta close your eyes.
And look away.
And look away.
And the winner is...
The winner is, give us a drum roll there, folks. Okay, and the winner is Tate.
Tate
W. And we have your email. I'm putting it right up to the camera. There you are. Tate W. I hope that you're in North America. And even,
it doesn't matter.
And it's even better if you are in Oshawa.
And it's even better if you were our neighbor.
Yeah.
Or right.
If you are a neighbor, you are the lucky winner. And this is a pretty heavy
it's
cake.
Heavy. It's right? Small, but it's heavy.
It's very heavy.
Don't talk over the cake.
No, I'm not talking. There's plastic over it. I'm not talking.
It's
plastic.
Yummy. It really,
it's yummy, folks. Yummy.
Been adding every week. We add a little bit of rum, a little bit of wine, so it's really well preserved. Yeah. And I wish I had put my own name in it.
Okay. So that's it. So, folks, this has been a wonderful. Listen. This chemical thing, this conversation is such a wide range that we can, all we did was, choose a very small snippet to talk about. right? There are so many categories in this toxic chemical conversation that we can get into, but we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
Right? All year we can talk about this because
and we will do this from time to time because as you say, it's just such a wealth.
It's a wealth of information
that we need to know.
Yes. And this is what we are about, giving out information to our listeners. Some of what we have said, you have heard before. If you haven't, then, I hope that what we have said, have sown a seed that will enable you to, whenever you go into supermarket, dollar store, even anywhere, even at a flea market. And listen, talking about flea markets, there is a flea market in Toronto that there's a section, I'm not going to call name, there is a section that sells
expired.
I think that there's some of them are expired, over-the-counter medication.
Not medication, you mean the personal care item.
Personal care item, and they have like calcium and stuff like that that you can buy over the counter, and omega-3 and stuff. In my opinion, I'm saying nobody should buy them because they're like, I don't know. But anyway, that's my opinion on that.
What I like to buy at the flea market are my nuts. I get a great assortment of nuts at a really good price. Yeah. And hopefully they're chemical free.
Hopefully. But here's what I'm going to say. As a Canadian living in Canada and paying taxes, and we pay a hell of a lot of taxes, and if you don't pay it, they threaten you, right? And if we're doing that and you're doing that, voluntarily, we should not allow ourselves to be poisoned by products we purchase. That is my thought in it.
Whether it's food or...
Regardless of what, and regardless of your socioeconomic status, regardless where you live, regardless of your, as I said, your socioeconomic status, we should not allow ourselves to be poisoned by the products we purchase. And in addition, to retailer accountability, I think the government has an obligation to protect its consumers from toxic exposure.
So you do agree with me. And you don't have time to argue. So good health.
Yeah. So with that, folks, we're going to say, are we out of time?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We ought to say with that, we're going to end the show. We want to thank you for joining us this evening. And we always end the show by saying good health is central to human happiness and well-being. It contributes significantly to prosperity and wealth and even economic progress. As healthy individuals, we can be more productive and may even live a little bit longer. So until next Sunday, same time, same place, this is Janet and Fred saying, let's stay healthy.
But I wanted to point out that next week, please be sure to tune in because we have a young lady who experienced trauma and no time to talk about it now, but tune in next week. We'll send out the email and thank you always for listening.
So let's stay healthy, folks.
Yes.
On Reality Radio 101, this is Fred and Janet Cox saying, happy Sunday to you.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to the Liquid Green Health Show with your hosts, Fred and Janet Cox, right here on Reality Radio 101.